Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2. Let me introduce the Red Terran player who you know, you love, and most importantly, you can probably relate to. The People's Terran for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is Cure. This is a World Team League showdown. They're representing their teams. There will be 3 matches between these two, but before I get too ahead of myself, let me introduce the player on the other side. The fastest player in StarCraft 2 representing Kaiji Gaming for this match. It is Reynor, the Italian stallion. Yes, there will be 3 games. They're fighting to improve the record of their teams. I hope you'll record a like, and if you haven't yet, maybe even a subscribe for this match. A classic Terran versus Zerg matchup. Cure, I think the underdog here. But then again, everyone seems to think Cure is the underdog right up until he pulls the rug out from under them. So, I'm interested to see what Cure comes up with to take on Reynor. Overall, Reynor is all about finding... What did Reynor become known for right off the bat? Is Zergling counterattacks, slipping through the defenses. It feels like every year, Terran players, even Zerg, everyone seems to be getting better at closing those gaps, setting up their bases in a way that makes it difficult for any sort of counterattack or pressure to get through. But Reynor consistently and continually is the one to find those opportunities. Now, of course, it's hard to find those opportunities when you don't really have any units to work with. And right now, most of his units are going to have to commit to defending against the first couple medevacs here. Stim. No combat shield, no +1, just Stim after a commands and a first relatively greedy start from Cure, but he still has an opportunity to do a lot of damage here. Knocks a queen over to the side, takes it out. Another one badly bruised, a whole lot of Zerglings gunned down in the process. So opens up with a great salvo, does Cure, and this doesn't really cost him anything. He's keeping pressure on the map. He killed a queen. How many Zerglings? Only 7. It looked worse than it was, at least for now. But he's just kind of using this to anchor Reynor. I just want to point out one more time. I think I covered it. I short-term memory loss, okay. A lot of StarCraft, a lot of deja vu. But there will be 3 games. I don't know how they end, but I know there will be 3 games. It's not a best of anything. So, look forward to that. I don't know. Could be 15 minutes, could be an hour and 15 minutes with these two. Combat shield on the way. And that's why Jimmy hasn't put the best of, which was distracting me until I remembered. Guns down one more queen. +1 Carapace is the choice for Reynor. A bit of a middle of the road. I think he'll probably add in the melee attack relatively soon, whenever he gets the opportunity. Sitting on 56 drones, so not a huge economy. Once +1 Carapace and Baneling speed are done, it'll be a lot easier to deal with these Marines. Of course, Widowmines don't really care about your Carapace upgrades, which is part of why usually the melee attack is preferred, but the fight is still going. The creep is pushed all the way back, and the Zergling counterattack. Cure has it covered for now. Widowmine diffused. Doesn't take too much damage, and Cure wanders in to the Banelings and eats one for, well, an early brunch. It isn't quite breakfast in this game yet, but brunch. Not that that's something gamers know much about, or waking up in the AM in general, though at least one of these players I think did in order to play it this time. Pretty big attack coming out from Cure here, though. Following it up, just abandons the idea of a third in favor of getting damage done on the other side, which is quite a commitment. Reynor doesn't yet have a 4th base. He doesn't have that many drones, so this is probably Cure's best opportunity, but he has to be careful, as Baneling speed is already completed. The creep is not overwhelming. He's already put some effort into drawing it back, but 1-1 is still about 15-20 seconds out. So until then, it is a dangerous game that Cure is playing against those Banelings. Counterattack, just shutting down the 3rd. Reynor just denying Cure's economy. It's still relatively early on. 1-1 is done. The Marines are stepping forward. Banelings rolling through, trying to get underneath the queens there. Some more drones going to be gunned down. Equals the SCV losses on the other side. 2-2 starts for Cure immediately. He knows his limits. He's not trying to defend the third and press forward at the same time. Instead, focused entirely on maintaining a strong position on Reynor's side of the map, whereas Reynor looks like he wants to either go for a huge flank or a massive counterattack. He's got 13 queens here, a baker's dozen, and he's cooking up a huge 360 flank. Almost 360. Lings and Banes coming through. Cure forced to pick up and get out, though loses a couple of the medevacs there. I don't love it. I like it maybe a little, if you could convince me of it, but overall Cure getting smashed on the northern side of the map as Reynor moves to defend his fourth. Decent positioning from the Marines. 3 more barracks being built. Oh, the Mainling is connected. But Reynor has not been able to really get that drone count up. That's the big issue here. The lack of drones and the pressure on these bases, the fact that queens are consistently pulled off the line, targeting down some more of the medevacs, means not particularly many injects, not much larva with which to build more Zerglings and Banelings. Does he have? He's got a queen at each of these bases, most of the queens at the front, but he kept enough for the injects. And that's very important at this stage of the game, especially since Reynor is committed to this Ling Bane stuff. Kira losing a few more to the Banes. Since he's committed to this Ling Bane style, he needs to keep that larva production up. Larva is a resource. In much the way a barracks is production for Terrans, but one of the most important parts of maintaining Terran production is adding on those racks in a timely manner, which is why Kira has focused on getting racks 6, 7, and 8 online at his third. Reynor's at 68 drones, plus 2 carapace. He just finished the infestation, but the hive should be starting soon. But Cure, one thing he's most accomplished at is macro. Okay, consistent, inexorable macro. Oh my god, I love it. I love it so much. He's walled off the tank with supply. I love this so much. My god, this is like a Bronze League Heroes move. Cure, realizing there's literally no range damage, has protected his tank with a force field of depots. I think they're just called a wall. In fact, even an SCV stuck in there. Oh, eats some big Baneling hits on the left flank, but look at the supply. Cure maintains 168 to 162. Hive is on the way. Hydra Den, +1 melee for Reynor, but Cure, he's building 15 Marines at a time. That is an overwhelming. It's unclear who's the Zerg here. Well, overall, Cure is the one who's pumping out even more units with better upgrades. So now Reynor's going to have to smash him. Oh my god, here comes another round of Lings and Banes. He has to pick up and try to get out. He abandoned some of the Marines. And once again, though, despite how horrible this fight looks for Cure, look at the supply. Reynor loses 61 Zerglings there. All the Banelings that were lost, I think technically attacked, which means they don't show up, which creates a bit of a skewed perspective, but wow. 181 to 148 supply. I've never seen... I guess this is the classic... Well, he won the battle, but he's losing the war, as Reynor chose to go for just Ling Bane. And he kind of pigeonholed himself into this composition that's entirely reliant on overwhelming your opponent. And Cure has not been overwhelmed. He's been mildly whelmed at best. And he continues his production. 64 SCVs plus a few mules seems to be more than enough. Reynor is going to need to... The next few minutes... minute or two is going to be critical. He needs to hold on to all these bases. He needs to get his Vipers out and work his way to those Lurkers as quickly as possible. Lurker Den is about to finish up. He cannot afford to really lose any more than this, because Kira is going to have 3-3. The one thing he's building... What the hell? He's building 12 racks. A dozen. I've never seen... I quite literally have never seen. I guess that's another way of banking up production. I've never seen this many barracks, especially... He's only on 3 base. I don't even think you can afford this. It's like banking up larva, though. how right my metaphor was, or analogy. I'm not sure which one was more accurate. The philosophers can debate. But, oh, parasitic bomb. Cure. Oh my god, Cure. Oh my god. Struggling, losing. Oh my, it's a disaster. He's flying into the parasitic. Wow. It's a disaster for Cure over here, but a disaster he immediately recovers from. Because he understands it's not about how many Marines and Marauders and Medevacs you lose. It's about how many you have to replace them. So much so, it's about how many you have to replace them. And those... Yeah, when you're approaching a similar amount of Marines lost to the Zerglings, well, it's not quite there yet, but it's even supply. Hydra's added into the fray, but I don't believe there are any Hydra upgrades. No basic upgrades, no attack upgrades, just +2 Carapace on those Hydras. Another group of Marines smashed with Baneland. But Cure... just endless march. He's building Marauders now as his basic counter to the Lurkers. No Ghost Academy at all. He added a few Liberators in, but it seemed like maybe a bit much, so... Yeah, that's just quite a bioball. Cure is sitting here, the 200 supply Terran. He brings a tank over with the... Are those Lurkers? They just don't have range. He's stimming. He's tearing through one base. He got so many Zerglings. Splitting. Splits were good enough. He has enough Medevacs. Another round of Lings and Banes. Reynor dipping in supply yet again. The Medevacs badly bruised, flying through parasitic bombs and a bunch of queens. But the macro of Cure is just overwhelming. Parasitic bombs on the Liberators, which will eventually deal with them, but they're still doing damage throughout this. Widowmine connects, kills a Liberator and the Viper. Alright, it doesn't discriminate. Equal opportunity destruction from Cure, who has finally dipped somewhat in supply as the Banelings roll through. The Medevacs start to dwindle as he goes into the Liberators. He's building 5 ghosts at a time. So this has been Cure going for the ghost transition. But the problem is, there's already so many Lurkers on the field. The ghosts are not, ideally, if you're able to put enough pressure on, you want the ghosts out as the Lurkers are coming out, or even before. But they are a reaction. Still, though, the creep spread is nearing non-existent. Oh my god, the pair... Oh my god. Oh god. It's bad. It doesn't stack, which is the only saving grace. Decent target fire there. But Cure clearly struggling with the parasitic bombs. Overall, any form of splash damage has an innate bonus to Cure. But I have never seen someone earning... and once again, Reynor, he wins a fight. He looks to counterattack, and another Terran army comes down. How many ghosts? Cure's ghost control has not been the most impressive in the past, but this does seem clearly like a quantity over quality situation, or he yanks the ghosts in, but they get the EMP in the air, which they can do for some reason. Special operatives, alright. One misclick here at the wrong time could leave his entire army eviscerated. That is just so much bile. Reynor trying to work around. He's consuming a base that he desperately needs because he needs the energy on the Vipers even more. No, he thought about consuming this hatchery and then thought better of it. 9 more Lurkers on the way. Reynor. The Lurker's clearly doing quite well against Cure, but the sheer amount of bio here. He's trying to bait a few units in with the Zerglings. It's kind of working. He keeps going back and forth, yanks in a couple ghosts. EMP lands again. So many more Lurkers. All the ghosts dying, but he's just gonna stim in, take the base. Takes 20 more supply out. Whatever. He'll replace it near immediately. Cure's macro is ridiculous. Slowly but surely sniping out the Lurkers from the high ground. Big Lurker counterattack. Reynor's gonna try to flip the table, essentially. As right now, whatever this is not working. He realizes back at home. There are 12 racks. cloaks the ghosts, and oh no, there's no detection, though Cure is eating some of the hits. Reynor didn't bring an Overseer, and without it, unfortunately, the lurkers are going to have to scamper away. So many damaged medevacs, but not dead, and still with energy here. Reynor has been fighting a war of attrition, a war that Cure is incredibly well experienced. Oh my god, the parasitic bombs are doing so much. These are some of the most damage I've ever seen parasitic bomb do. And it's not enough. It just simply isn't enough. Reynor is still struggling. He's still at 1-2 upgrades. He's bleeding out in the main. He's lost all the bases. There's almost no creep spread. The hive, which was consumed almost all the way to death, finished off by the Terrans. Some more ghosts left behind to haunt. No, that's it. He's done it. Oh. I don't even really know what went wrong for Reynor here. It never really got going. He never really found an opportunity. Cure? This is one of the best. Oh my god. You know what? I think I'm going to give Reynor the benefit of the doubt on the FGG. But I'm going to go ahead and encourage speculation. Did he misclick the GG? I always look down. First thing you do, you look at your keyboard. And you say, okay, well, fair enough. But, geez. So the first game here, going to Cure. And honestly, never really slipping away from him. It didn't really feel like any point in that game Reynor had an opportunity to get much done. It just very simply, Cure continued sending Marines and medevacs across. And Reynor never really found any footing there. Wow, that was there's a reason he's the people's Terran, alright? He believes in getting every single unit involved. Even if, by involved, it dies horribly to parasitic bomb, or lurkers, or banelings. I don't think I've ever seen that many medevacs die to parasitic bomb, but at the same time not matter. I love how he accepts who he is. How he just builds 12 racks. How he builds a dozen medevacs. How he just doesn't take his third. Instead of bothering with trying to defend it. Oh my god, my favorite part so far is, it was almost irrelevant during the game, but the siege tank supply depot wall. That is Cure being Cure right there, and accepting it. Instead of trying to be a budget beyond, he is the #1 Cure. I think Reynor was caught off guard by how willing Cure was to lose his units. If you watch Beyond or Maru, they'll be microing Marines to individually drop on Banes, shift-click down some Queens, like microing one medevac, like their life depended on it, and sometimes it does. This is just a different war that Cure is fighting with the Red Terran here. We'll see if it continues. He once again goes command center first. Seems to be preferring that. This time around, though, Reynor has gone pool first with gas for speed. So, while not the hardest counter here, he's not going for roaches. Still could very much take Cure off guard. There's only going to be a handful of Marines. In fact, was there a scout at all? No. This is actually where the command center first becomes slightly better than going 1 racks expand, though, because he has the command center done. That's the important. It's finished. He cut the ribbon on it. Orbital command building. Not going to get delayed. So now we have to worry about the follow-up. He's got the Marine. All of his units are 1 Marine, which grammatically makes sense, I think. No. Reynor's building a devious amount of links. He has These are not defensive. He saw the command center timing with the Overlord. He knows. Oh, he knows. So Reynor is going to try to just wipe out the natural and catch whatever units are stuck down there. I guess, fortunately for Kira, there's no units yet, but we'll see. Zerglings running in. Unfortunately for Reynor, I say unfortunately for him, the Hellions weren't out. Because it's very likely they would have been down the ramp. Kira will lose 5 SCVs. And a Hellion, because it popped out on the wrong side. So... you might notice I'm not getting super excited like Reynor's done a ton of damage. Here's the thing. Look at the worker count. We got 25 to 29. Reynor committed quite hard to this. He doesn't have a third hatch. It's this weird spot where you did a lot of damage, but you invested so much. There just wasn't that much he could do. Like, he did everything he could have, and he's still in this kind of awkward spot economically. And it looks like Cure's gonna parlay this into a Hellbat timing. And I don't hate it. Alright? Cure gets to go Hellbats. Cure understands Hellbats. They're either a late game Hellchads with the +3 and used as a mineral sink for a more mech-based army, or, in this case, you know what you're not going to have many of if you go for early Zergling speed? You clearly delayed your third. You're not going to have queens. You're not going to have that many queens. You're going to have some queens, but they're not going to have as much energy. Likely not as much creep spread. And considering the big investment with Zergling speed, well, Zerglings aren't well known as a counter to Hellbat, so... Kira with the Hellbat reaction. I'm not sure if he wanted to go this direction originally, because he did go for the reactor. Oh my god. Of course the Zerglings... but there's not even a wall! He just... what? Kira! You can't just leave the door open! Well, he's not worried about that. I think Kira's gonna... he's going to lose his entire main. And just try to kill Reynor. Well, yeah, he's gonna lose most of... wait, there's one Hellbat and a handful of SCVs. Here comes Kira, though, with essentially everything he has. What does Reynor have to answer? All he has to do is live. He just has to live and keep most of his drones alive. The roaches are coming out. That's a huge deal in this. Even a Viking on the deck here. A Hellbat's soaking so much damage. Those 2 Marauders are possibly the most important part of this entire attack right now. As that's some damage on those roaches. And by some, I mean a huge number, as well as the concussive shells to hold things in place. The medevac! He's gonna lose it. So that puts a timer on the rest of this, as the roaches continue popping out. The Marauders are helping out so much. Queen's dying left, right, and center. Well, only none left in the center now. And eventually this will be whittled down. Oh no, wait, what's happening over here? Oh, more Hellions. Finding some drones. Yeah. So... well, 4 queens. This is a mess. 4 queens. That's not a wall, Kier. Yeah. I was gonna say, this is about even. And then the Zerglings got in again. Well, some Hellions coming out. And once again, they're just gonna keep hitting each other. The Banshees, it's a couple more SCVs. At first, oh no, 7 drones. 8 drones, it's adding up. The Banshee, oh no. And with the Queens killed? Oh no. And Hyperflight is on the way. This is the hard part. It doesn't really matter how many SCVs you kill if you can't defend at home. Because the Terran can bounce back with mules in a way that you simply can't, especially if you don't have queens. Without the queens, especially with the injects. Oh no. Reynor once again doing some damage to Cure. But he's Cure quickly turning it around with the Banshees. And transitioning into mech this time around. Not bothering with the bio build, but instead opting for 2 more factories, hyperflight, which seems almost unnecessary, but... And it's 46 to 52. If you look at the income, well, very mule dependent here. As Reynor's up to 55 drones, but that's a whole lot of Hellions coming across the map right now. No blue flame, but is it required? There's 5 roaches. So, oh, he's just gonna go straight into Hellbats here. I mean, the roaches can kite them back, and they desperately need to. Here we go. Hellbats just ignoring the roaches for a while. Catches them now. There is no roach speed. There's a lair, technically. Banshee's heading to the main. Hyper Flight is not quite done yet. The Hyper She is, though. Incredibly annoying to deal with. Wow, Reynor with a queen drop response, it looks like. He's going to try to attack with the queens as he's decided there's no other options. He's looked for it. He does not want to drag this into a later game. As against a 3... Oh my god, there are 5 Banshees. Oh, it's a disaster. Oh, he just beats the queens with those. That's just too many Banshees. Like, he can drop them out. It's gonna be pretty clear. Here should understand exactly what he's dealing with now. There are Hellbats. I think he's played this. Once again, he's willing to amputate, essentially, his arm in order to do critical damage to Reynor. He let the SCVs die so he could focus on the other side of the map. And now Reynor is all in. Oh my god. There's multiple tanks. It's gonna be a disaster over here. The Banshees are on the other side of the map, but there's 3 tanks. They have armor. He's dropping creep. The corrosive bows are landing, but at the same time, Kier's just killing the lair. Yeah, well... Kier's losing a lot. Was that all 3? Doesn't quite kill the tank. He's gonna try to drop on the tanks here. The Banshees killed a lair, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, super dead. Well, if this was a best of 3, Kier would have already taken it, but... Reynor has one more chance of redemption to put his team on the board, at least give him some points here in the World Team League, but... Kier seems to have his number. Here's the thing. Reynor's weak point, at least historically, from what I've seen, and when we first started seeing Reynor, mech. In general, mech. Just the cost efficiency of mech. And now, was that mech? I don't think I'd call that mech outright. It was just eventually the mech transition. And Reynor did start it. He started with the early Zerglings. He came running in. Kier didn't seem particularly committed to keeping the Zerglings out of his base. But it didn't seem to matter by the end. As in typical Kier fashion, it wasn't flashy. It wasn't particularly unexpected, but it just... his priorities were on point, and his macro was good. And Reynor was not able to get the damage he needed done there. Is it... really? Command center first. 3 for 3. Wow. It's so greedy, but at the same time, it was a command center first against Zergling speed. Essentially a Zerg rush last game, and he defended just fine. At some point, we're going to get back to Zerg players just roach-all-inning. And I think if Reynor had chosen a roach-all-in instead of Zergling speed, now they were both playing pretty blindly. But if he had chosen that roach-all-in, it's very likely Kier did, like, what were there? 2 Hellions and a Marine? 5 or 6 roaches, or maybe even a few Ravagers are more than enough. But of course, you have to commit to the Roach Warren usually before you can even scout across the map, or somewhat similar to it. Oh, come on. This is so great. This is disgusting. I feel like if Rogue was here right now, but he isn't, unfortunately. Went to his mandatory military service last year, so FPS. I don't know. There's no first-person shooter. We don't stop for anyone. We do it live from replay. But thank you to WTL for allowing me to. All right. Double gas now. Cures. This is the greediest Terran. Literally 3cc before gas. They can't keep getting away with it. This is disgusting. Did he even scout? I already knew the answer before I checked.
SCV ready.
Of course not. This is a blind 3cc before gas. Into 4 gas. Is this mech? Is this like actual straight up mech? Because why would you need 4 gas? Like, he would have added more barracks by now. There's one factory. There's no Roach Warren for Reynor. He's only seen that it was a command center first with the OV. Okay. Well, this is a ladder build. This feels like one of those builds you just... It's not quite flipping a coin, but it's pretty damn... Oh, come... Oh my god. I don't want to call it a troll build, but this is entire... He has 3 Marines. That's it. That's his entire defense. The Overlord trying to float in here. 3 more Marines will show up. The 3rd CC will be spotted and nothing else. That is not helpful. It's too late to punish any sort of 3cc play. Oh, Cure. Playing to win for his team here. Reynor is going with the middle of the road. Like, relatively quick lair, but he got some queens, zergling speed, got a 3rd base, and if Cure was playing more like normal 3... Oh... I don't know what to say. Like, we'll see. It's going to be so long. He's gonna see the gases. Oh no. You gotta build a Roach one now. Yesterday. He's building... Oh, he thinks it's battle cruisers! He's building spores. Oh no. Cure so far this game has shown Reynor everything, or he's... I wouldn't... Honestly, I would say letting that Zergling in was a good thing. As he sees the gas, Reynor thinks it's battle cruiser. The battle cruiser bamboozle here. It isn't. Oh no. It's a disaster. It's 5.5 minutes in, and Reynor still has no idea what he's dealing with. And this is not the sort of style you can just kind of adjust. No, these are blue flame Hellions. And the Cyclones show up. The Roach Warren starts. It's too late already. Cure. The build selection. It's so committed. I would not try this on the ladder, actually. Like, this is one of those that only works because Reynor's a smart player. This is a build that works best against players who actually know what they're doing. And right here, he's played directly into that knowledge and against it. Cure, it's beautiful, but also a little disgusting. There's not an armory, so no Hellbats, but this is a battle mech bonanza. The battle mech bamboozle. And the queens are fighting, but with Magfield, they do bonus damage against the queens. The transfuses are running. He's flying the damn barracks here. Oh my god, it's disgusting. The Lings are getting into the natural. Which, once again, Cure has nothing at home to defend. But Reynor also has nothing at home to defend, and a whole bunch of Cyclones and Hellions. Oh, this hurts. I was hoping for an epic fight between these two. But we had a strong battle in game 1. And then it kind of feels like the last 2 matches where Cure just taking his mech units and bludgeoning Reynor with them. As Reynor just tries to find a way out of it. Cure's ahead on supply. And it's in mostly army. And some of the most cost-effective units. Blue Flame Hellions. Magfield Cyclones. Not every set of games can be close. Not every set of games can be an epic back-and-forth battle. For every intense roller coaster, you have something that looks a little bit more like bullying. Cure got the better of Reynor today. No, I mean, oh, maybe with the roaches are able to close in and target down some of the cyclones, it'll be enough to turn it around. Reynor, he has 62 drones to fall back on. Cure, he's going a little deep here into the natural. Is he overextending? As just a few Hellions left over, he's rallying some of those units across the map. Some more Zerglings come in from the north side. 11 drones down, but Reynor still has something. No, he's super dead. I tried. Cure definitely getting the better of Reynor here. That old weakness to mech still showing as Cure with some disgustingly greedy, some reckless Terran greed. I think it's a smart move. You don't want to go toe-to-toe with Reynor. Clearly, the counterattacks were still good. In every game, Reynor got into his base with Zerglings. It just didn't seem to matter enough. Cure, the People's Terran, takes 3 in a row in this World Team League match and puts 3 on the board for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Do you want to see the rest of the match? Leave a comment, like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you to WTL. And thank you to Jimmy for putting this one up. He's been doing pretty good work lately. Hopefully he can keep it up as long as people click on this video. We'll see. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Hope I made your day a little bit better. Good luck. Have fun. Stay chill.